Me again. Not feeling too much like a tutorial type of video today, or get ready with me, or let me show you about some stuff that I don't even know too much about. So today I'm holding in my hand a book that I got in the mail. I want to say a couple weeks ago from my brother. He lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and somebody has written a book on his memoirs. It's really interesting to me because his life in some type of way had a lot of me in it. This book has a lot of, somewhat, even if it's just a little bit of me in it, I don't know. I'm reading it with you for the first time. I'm going to share it with you. Not all of it today. I'm going to read for a few minutes. And if it seems like something that you'd be interested in hearing more of, then stay tuned. Because it's probably going to be like a week-long series. Not every day, maybe. I mean, it's not going to be the only thing I do, is read from a book. But we're just going to see how this goes, okay? How about a few pages? Join me. Story time. The book is called this. Stay Raised, and it is based on the memoirs of Natividad Mendoza, and he is my brother, so I have permission to read his book. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing this, but he knows I'm reading it. So anyway, and then inside the cover here, can you see that? It says, "To my little sister, blah blah blah. I hope you enjoy it. I love you." There's his signature. He runs a nonprofit organization called From Gangs to Jobs, and he's my big brother. Let's get started, okay? This is the front page, and this is what it looks like, okay? A memoir of Natividad Mendoza, written by Wanda, please don't come for me, Wanda Kolomajic. So sorry if I didn't pronounce that one. Okay. The introduction. Let's read that today. Let's read the introduction, okay? I don't want to bombard you with a whole bunch of stuff, but let's read the introduction, okay? Natividad. Big N there. Natividad. Can you see that? My glasses on. Is it cute? My glasses cute? My eyelashes are totally not having it. Okay. Natividad Mendoza was, what the heck? This is how it starts. I didn't even know it started like this. It's brutal. Natividad was choked, beaten, hanged, raped, nearly drowned, and abandoned. Left for dead. And he was a witness to a brutal murder by his stepfather by the age of 14. Natividad was raised by the state and spent 17 years going in and out of prison, more than a dozen times. To survive, Natividad rose up to be a leader in one of the most feared gangs in California, in the California penal system. He participated in heinous attacks in order to gain the respect he needed to survive. He finally walked out of the prison for the last time in 2003, a free man. My lashes are not having these glasses, but maybe I can adjust. Okay. But was he really free? Is he free today? Why would his story be told? And why would we pay heed to his message? When I decided to write this book, my main motivation was to provide a voice to a man who had found a way out of a downward spiral. Natividad's wisdom, born of life experience, seemed invaluable to society's understanding of how to raise people up from the dark depths of human experience. On a more practical side, I hope that his story and his program could be shared and monetized, injecting desperately needed capital into his philanthropic venture. believing that some background information on Natividad's childhood and early years would provide context to his current effort. I began to interview Natividad about his life. The more I sat with Natividad and heard his heartbreaking and horrifying story, the more I realized that his background story demanded more attention than I had originally planned. Okay. If you are looking for If you're looking for a Hollywood hero, Natividad is not your man. He was imperfect. He is imperfect. He candidly shares stories revealing elements of his character that might make it difficult for some readers to sympathize. However, I believe character is defined more impressively by the mistakes we make and our responses to them, rather than by the purity of our story. It is far easier to have great character when your character is rarely challenged. It is also far easier to have great character when you believe in yourself, because you have benefited from a lifetime of people reflecting back to you that you are loved and that you are worthwhile. Reflecting good character to a society that has rejected, traumatized, and turned its back on you is truly extraordinary. It's getting deep. Okay. People look for leaders in many places. I implore you to consider Natividad as a leader in rehabilitating criminal offenders. Some might ask, why? Should I listen to a person? Why should I listen to a person like Natividad? Natividad is a criminal. He has done terrible things, and why should I care about criminals anyway? This is how a lot of us think, even without admitting it, right? Offenders are released with a record which follows them everywhere they go. Few organizations will hire a felon. For many former prisoners, education and opportunities have passed them by, and training for specific jobs which they may never be hired for anyway is out of reach financially. They are released from prison and have no home and no prospects. Often, the only place that is remotely welcoming in the troubled relationships they came from. How do we help Natividad today and others like him? He is a man who turned himself around and is trying to help others who have suffered like him. But he is also working to help make our society safer. Offenders who have a pathway to a meaningful and purposeful life are less likely to reoffend. On the surface, providing guidance is completely logical, and yet our society does just the opposite. Our penal system throws young delinquents into a hostile environment with little regard for their development, intellectually or socially, and then the system releases them devoid of any useful survival tools. We must quiet our judgmental tendencies, quell our desires to offer quick fixes devoid of experience and context. Rather, we must lift the voices of people like Natividad who have miraculously weathered a most perverse and disturbing storm, and he has prevailed in the end. Natividad is trying to offer an option to offenders and the public they are bound to interact with upon release, a lifetime of hope and guidance to a better and moral life, a lifetime that will lead becoming a functioning member of society rather than a burden. Let's stop there. A couple of pages a day. Let's try to make this a week-long series. Let's see how many chapters we have here. This is the first time I'm cracking the book open. He sent it to me. It must have reached me about 2 weeks ago, and I've been a little weird about opening it, and reading it, but I think doing it like this, I think I'm a little bit more open to hearing what's in it. So share story time with me, okay? Tune in tomorrow. I'll upload a couple of videos, probably a makeup one, and then one reading a few more pages, possibly a chapter from this book. You see? You see it? Yeah. My brother's memoirs. If you like me, come back and see me. Bye.